Hi, welcome to another episode of Hot Takes. You can see from the thumbnail that we're going to talk about Sadiq Khan. This is a man who is now basically so unpopular, so extreme, that even his own supporters have had enough of him. Now, there is a call for unification and an English devolution. And there is a bill that's being presented. Now, whether it goes through or not is another matter. But basically, people want to strip Sadiq Khan of his power. He's got too big for his tiny little boots. And there's a piece in Guido Fawkes that sums it up. And I'm just astonished because it's unheard of. This has never happened before. There are in London 32 boroughs, and they're controlled mainly by Labour, but there's some Tory and Lib Dem, and there's an independent. And in what can only be described as a unique set of circumstances, all 32 boroughs have united to oppose Sadiq Khan. Every single one, including all the Labour boroughs. This is the thing. Even Labour boroughs are uniting to get rid of Sadiq Khan, or at least to clip his wings, as it were. They demand sharing the power. They demand some of that power be devolved down to the borough level. They're calling for this radical shake-up of his dominance, effectively. They want to use the English devolution bill that's going through to strip Khan of total control and calling for what they call a combined board. And this is where representatives from each of the 32 boroughs basically form a grand council, if you will, to establish joint decision-making arrangements. This is just completely indicative, I think, of the contempt in which Khan is held, even by his own party's councils in London. He's removed from them various powers, and it's been power grabbing. It isn't, he said, no, well, we need to have this central, we need to have that. So that he's combined all this power into one hate-filled little pipsqueak. And they don't like it. Devolved powers, mean more local accountability, but he doesn't want that. He just sees himself as some kind of little mini dictator. He's certainly got a bigger budget than just about anyone else in the country. As an individual, he is technically he's actually technically more powerful than the Prime Minister in terms of power and spending. The Prime Minister can't come out and say and do things. He has to go through Parliament to get things approved. Khan can do it on a whim. It's dictatorial. Anyway, this is the biggest intervention of mayoral powers since 2000, when the actual role was created. ULEZ expansion was the big one, of course. Everyone hates that, and that's why those blessedly good people, the Blade Runners, are going around using blades and running and cutting down the cameras. Well done on them. I mean, in theory, well done on them. It is criminal damage. They shouldn't do it, but I think a lot of people will like it. Don't do it. Don't do it. It's bad. It's wrong. It's illegal. But I'm just thinking how that they are heroes for doing it. Anyway. He's got wasteful spending. He's got mad ideas. Can you name anything he's done that's been beneficial in any way? Because I can't. Anyway, Councillor Claire Holland, who's the chair of London Council, said, and who is Labour, remember, like Khan, said, giving boroughs a seat at the table and a proper say in regional decision-making will put us in a far stronger position to tackle the challenges we face as a city and drive growth in London. All of this is a word salad. However, and this is the line, we must seize this opportunity to hardwire collaboration between the mayor and boroughs into our devolution deal so we can all deliver better outcomes for Londoners. That line is what does it. That line, seize the opportunity, literally means seize powers from the mayor. All 32 boroughs basically are committed to getting this bill through. They want this through. They want that power restored to a lower level, a level closer to the people. And currently, of course, boroughs have got no decision making at all in Greater London. They used to have the GLC with Mad Ken Livingstone. Now, he was awful enough, but at least every individual borough had a representative on it, and they could stand up and fight for their piece of London, you know. Now, nothing. It's basically, you know, you're told what you will do. It's a rubber stamp operation for councils now, for borough councillors. But hey, that goes now to show exactly where people are. They just loathe this horrible little man, don't they? At the moment, it's voluntary. If he will listen, he doesn't have to act. Whereas if it was a formal arrangement with a formal council that he would have to convince and it would be put to a democratic vote, that, I think, would clip his wings. That would reduce the madness. Now, of course, it's mainly Labour in London. There are, top of my head, 5, maybe 6 Tory boroughs, I think. Something like that. It's only 5 or 6 out of the 32 that are Tory. The rest are mostly Labour. So you're still going to get a mostly left-wing Labour-y decision-making process. But at least there are Tory voices there. But, you know, this has still got to all go through Parliament. The white paper's been presented. He's going to have the readings. It is expected to go through, though. There is an appetite for this. But, you know, for the borough leaders and that for the borough councils, of course, it can't come quick enough. They're absolutely fed up of this odious little man forcing on them things that they dislike, and they don't want to have to force to sell to their constituents. It's going to cost them seats, and all they can say is, well, the mayor's insisted on it. Why aren't you standing up against the mayor? I don't have the authority. I don't have the power. I have no say. Well, if you've got to say that to people, they're going to say, well, what the bloody hell's the point of you then? Might as well get rid of the borough councils and let the mayor have it all. And of course, that's even more frightening for them, the idea of losing their seat and income. Yeah, I can see why they want it. But also, he is a horrible, horrible man. Deeply, deeply bigoted. And the sooner he's out of power, I think the better for London. And he goes, I want to do this, I want to do that. Yeah, but actually what he's actually trying to do is destroy London. It's getting worse all the time. The joys, the joys of the left. Anyway, there we go. Let me know what you think, just as they're letting Khan know what they think. Till next time, stay safe, stay well. Let me know in the comments below, and I will speak to you as ever later. Bye.